Donald Trump wants to talk about money. He wants to talk about the money. And I want to talk about different issue. I want to talk about the color of the money here. There is a saying in America. It says, I don't care what you discriminate against, but don't discriminate the money. I heard that a lot from black folks saying this. Well, let me see this video.
How much money will Apple be investing in the United States? How much is Google investing? What about Microsoft? How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh gosh. I think it's probably going to be something like.
It's all about how much is it going to be? And it's a big accent on.
How much money will Apple be investing in the United States?
And it's a big accent on you, how much you, and you, how much.
How much is Google investing? What about Microsoft? How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh. You know, this highly reminds me of this here. I was sitting, and you can see her right here. You can see Melania Trump sitting right next door.
How much money will
Trump.
Apple be investing in the United States? How much is Google investing? What about Microsoft? How much are you spending?
We're very proud to do it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will invest a ton in the United States.
An incredible job.
Let me see Melania. You know, I was sitting like this at a table. They seated me at a table sometimes in 2012 it was. And it was Donald Trump dreamed about the day when he will be again a president, his second term. That much for American democracy. And they seated me at a table, and I heard next to me, I couldn't believe some of these guys. I couldn't believe some of these guys how much money they came up with. I couldn't believe. And it was the issue we discussed prior to this MK Ultra session. I thought it would be in private inside of our house here in the city of the Novo Mesto, you know. And when I found myself like this at a table with the Jews, with the American Jewry, actually, I think you should see this video, this whole thing, what it looks like. It looks so idiotic. It looks so primitive.
How much money will Apple be investing in the United States? How much is Google investing?
That's what Donald Trump told me. It's only, the way I work, I only ask how much you, and how much you, and how much you will, and how much you will invest, and how much you will give, and how much you, and how much you, and how much you. This did not end one time. They had me like this. They exercised, they rehearsed this shit for about at least 3 occasions. With Donald Trump, Zuckerberg, Apple CEO, all these people that you see, Bill Gates and so on. And Bill Gates promoted heavily American Jews, American Jewry. Actually, international Jew. Bill Gates suggested me very embarrassed, like, I only so much. Just like Melania Trump, Bill Gates insisted on being poor when compared to these Jews that started to gather around me. Today this video is about Ukraine. This video, maybe I started this topic a little bit strangely. It's about a Jew. It's about Ukrainian Jew, Russian Jew, American Jew, Israeli Jew. But you will understand what I mean by this as I go along. It is about the money. It's about understanding of a Jewish money. Its value of this video is about my paying special attention to what Jewish money is, what makes Jewish money. That's why I played this video.
How much money will Apple be investing in the United States? How much is Google investing? What about Microsoft? How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh gosh. I think it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion.
It was like, how much are you spending? And he says, I think it will be like, whatever, $600 billion. You know? It's about making of the Jew. What makes the Jew? Okay. What makes the Jew is this here. This is what made the Jew. I couldn't describe better than what I did. I described with everything I had right here. In this, whatever is marked in yellow, right there, that's exactly what makes American, what makes the Jew. That right there. That's exactly how it was. This was like a second generation of the Jews. They commenced upon the fall of the Soviet Union officially. Like in 92, they started with this stuff. But there is more stuff that happened in 1992. In 1992, I kicked Ukrainian Jews from this house here, from this home. I told them to get lost and never come back. I'm going to make a little break here. That's right, upon the fall of the Soviet Union in 90, I had all of a sudden, I was so happy for many reasons, for the stuff that I have gone through in a Soviet Union, so-called Soviet Union. It really was a Russia. Nobody really in Soviet Union liked Jews. The one that liked Jews were Russians, for obvious reasons. And I was Russian Jews were the worst people in the world. Russian Jews were psychiatrists. These are animals, absolute animals. Psychiatrists, politcommissars, like main people at the KGB, that kind of stuff. Putin was extremely disturbed and grateful to me in 1992 for refusing to have absolutely anything to do with Ukrainian Jews that stormed this house. There was like 20 Jews that would come and maybe 2 Ukrainians from Ukraine, and that was supposedly would be Ukrainian government. I was on my ass when I saw that stuff. For one of the things I was happy to get rid of the Soviet Union is because of exactly what I stated. I didn't want to see them anymore. Not like this, not like that, no fucking way how. I wanted them the fuck out of the house immediately. I told them, you're out, go, whatever the hell you want, but you're not welcome here. The one who came in our house was also Benjamin Netanyahu with his delegation, Israeli jury, arrived in our house. And he said, the first thing he said, oh, not this house. This guy does not like us. He said, this guy doesn't like us. He didn't say nothing about what guy, who I am, or anything like this. He was immediately against me. But I myself, I didn't want Jews inside of this house. I don't want to see absolutely anything. It's all these black coats, this shit, the religious garbage. I wanted him the fuck out. They say, but he likes Ukraine. He likes Ukraine. What the fuck, eh? I told Ukrainians, I told them, you get the fuck out of here. And say, where are we gonna go? I said, go you, whatever the fuck you, go back to Russia or whatever. I don't want you here. That was it. I was the biggest supporter of Ukraine. Ukraine, however, gave up its nuclear arsenal already in 1982, mentally started to give weaponry, prepare itself to give the weaponry back. With the Russians taking best weapons out of Ukraine, everybody knew the Soviet Union can end from one day to tomorrow to another. In 1982, everybody knew that Soviet Union no longer would even exist. It was just postponing something that was inevitable. This is not characteristic for me. I welcome people, all kinds of, all backgrounds, everything, but the memories on the Jew who started slavery, worse than slavery it was, espionage, through Syria, through Saudi Arabia, through Iraq, through Iran, through Kuwait, through Lebanon, through Egypt, through Libya, using me when I was less than 1 year of age. The memories on the Soviet psychiatry, animals that work in Soviet system, animals, oftentimes Jews, the worst caliber were Jews, Russian Jewry, truly beasts, truly beasts. The worst there was a Russian Jew. They did not fade away. One of the happiest things pertaining to a new-founded post-Soviet freedom was Jew, Russian, Soviet Jew out of the picture. And I have Ukrainian delivering me Jews here inside of the house. I told them, you get the fuck out, you never come back. I don't want to know for you. I don't want to see you and I don't want to know for you anymore. You're out. That's it for me. It was a shock. It was what I was told by Vladimir Putin, by the Jews who came to do this shit here in our house. This is how the Ukrainian government operated. This is what Ukrainian government was. I mean, first was a nuclear weaponry, then it was everything else. It was a Jew who, next to the Jew with the Putin together, Putin thanked me, the Jews who came here together with Israel, with the Benjamin Netanyahu, with American Jewry, insisted that I don't like them. So what they're gonna do, they're gonna go to the other side. They're gonna go, since I don't like them, Ukrainian Jewry decided in my face, they're gonna go to the Russian side. And they're gonna work with the Russians against Ukraine, in the war in Ukraine. So this video is about the Jewish money, about the color of the Jew. Jewish, about the color of the Jewish money. Shekels. American dollar. That's what this video is about. Understanding of the Jew. Where they are coming from, how it works. Benjamin Netanyahu knows nothing about what I was used for since my earliest childhood for the sake of the Israeli state. Oh, he remained in his Soviet times. He's the wrong house, he's the one who doesn't like us. But then that was the time when Zelensky got his excuse for stabbing Ukraine from the back. The American, Israeli, Ukrainian, and Russian Jews literally video recorded themselves in the house, how I heard them out, how I didn't want to have them, etc., etc. I said, "You're the one that destroyed Ukraine." Vladimir Putin went on to thank me. He presented himself as a Jew. And that's how Vladimir Putin and Russia kicked a career to the new brave world in a post-Soviet times with aim to destroy Ukraine. Noteworthy because Jews keep their cinema, their private, what they refer to as evidence, as proofs. They keep all that stuff. Maybe one day they're going to say, it's because of you. You make us go to the other side. You know, it's important for me to demonstrate the Ukrainian politics. You notice me stating on my video that Ukrainians, the way this stuff operates is it makes Russia much bigger than what in reality is. It inflates the size, the importance of the Russia into something completely different. I suggested that the Ukrainians might not even be the people to trust. For what Jews started to multiply upon the fall of the Soviet Union borders was fucking unprecedented. This was like an airborne virus, bacteria that just all of a sudden launched itself from what used to be Soviet Union, landed right here inside of this house. It was horror, simply horror, with these black suits and shit. Man, did I not wanted to fucking see them absolutely anywhere. Ever again in my lifetime. That, as I stated, was one of the benefits of fall of the Soviet Union. Well. And then 92 comes, and I get to watch this techno geniuses, gurus, geniuses, young promising people like Elon Musk. Zuckerberg was still a baby. He was still a diaper. You know, diaper Zuckerberg. Eight years old based on what I see. He's 41 today. We're going to get to that issue. About people who sit right there at the table with Kushner, Trump, with Trump Kushner. I don't think he should have named Donald anymore. If it would make any difference. It would be more, I think, honest for the people to acknowledge for what it is. And so I've been given an ultimatum from American Jewry, obviously. Billionaires, club of billionaires, are owing me trillionaires, that there is a new generation of those that will support me next to the older generation, and not only support me but pay me the money, those trillions, all that money that is owed, etc., etc. And so what they have chosen is exactly as I marked right there in yellow, was whatever I really, really disliked. And so there was people like Musk, Peter Thiel, and all kinds of non-Jews that eventually started to fight themselves for a position within jury that was selected to represent my interests. How about that? And Donald Trump did not fail. He kept coming back with it. And if you're not gonna like them and so on, then you're not gonna be entitled to any money. He keep repeating this shit. Yes, it was extremely Jew, this Donald Trump. Extremely Jew. Like Jew of the Jews. He was very concerned about the money, about where the money would go. This jury that you watched over there, Melania Trump, really, when they seated me at the table, it makes me feel as it was this year that went on. Something like this. When she started to talk to me, but there are some that I could not believe. She started the schizophrenia. When they seated me at the table, and she started with the schizophrenia. That I not believe some of them how much money they have. Some of them so much money.
If that concerns you.
And I could not believe, and so I cannot really believe this. You can see how she's making big eyes over there,
the seat of good manners.
acting even more stupid than what she is.
The station has 5 features. I'll trade you.
And I got to listen to this shit. And how about you? How about you? The last one that came, just like on the video that you see, was a Bill Gates who presented me this issue. He doesn't know. Many of these Jews are so brilliant, so smart. They make much more money than he did. And so, with what you have seen right there, they barely waited
I would really like some more.
demonstrate their piece of art. I'm gonna stop this stuff here. To the world. This is the shit they rehearsed over and over again. At least on 3 occasions I witnessed these imbeciles talking about the money. Obviously, Jew money. Because it was about the Jew. And you're not gonna like them. And then we're not gonna owe you anything and so on. Zuckerberg lately even came with a big announcement. He made a big announcement how he's going to give I don't know how much money to America. Yeah. Jew Zuckerberg came in our house one time and started to threaten me that the money that he owes me, etc., that he's going to go and he's going to give to America, that he's going to give to Americans, and I'm not going to get nothing, etc., etc. Well, you see, this is the thing. The money, my money, the money for me is what I explained to you about the stuff that went on with these parasites in 1992, actually 1991, upon the fall of the Soviet Union, how they found their refuge here inside of the house. Stuff that I explained about who Jews are, what kind of role they played in my life. Beginning the earliest childhood, when I was a baby, what I was used for by the state of Israel, how the Jews operate and how they go past humanity. Because, it's not about the money really. The shit they talk is a public money. It was given to them from American public trust, from American taxpayers. This isn't their money. These people are shit. These are just fucking actors, apprentices of the certain actors, apprentices who trained them to look like billionaires, to look like I don't know what, so they can attract really billionaires, people who manage to steal the money in other countries and deliver one to America. This is what this shit is. That's what this stuff is. That's what you're watching when you're watching these clowns. That's what this shit is. It's about making of the international Jew in eyes of the people. Jesus Christ, 600 billion people, dollars, 100 here, 200 here, you got tons of money, tons here, how about you, and so on and so forth. This is what this shit is about. They built their wealth, they built their status literally through the lies and through the theft of lives, through the genocide extermination procedure done on other people. And I'm not the only person. Today they're cleansing Gaza. They still did not manage to kill all the Palestinian people in Gaza. They still not managed to expel and murder. They still have some butchery they have left to do. And so I thought it would be important to accent how this Zelensky was the one. Oh, Zelensky claimed in my face. He got into my face together with the Putin all the time. I told you about how he was congregating here. Zelensky got into my face. How old the fuck was Zelensky in 91 and 92? Let's see how old was this fucklet in 91, 92. Let's see it. Zelensky. Oh, he was older. He was older than Zuckerberg. He is 6 years older than Zuckerberg. So shit. You know that this guy was 14 years old. Believe it or not, that's crazy, man. I can't actually believe that this guy was actually 14 years old, because he claimed that I fucked them. That I fucked them so much. I fucked them because it was 20 Jews and maybe not even, it was 2 Ukrainians and 20 Jews. That was the first Ukrainian delegation that arrived in our house. And so I fucked them. And now all the Jews went on the Russian side. Ask your Zelensky about this stuff, so the Zelensky can explain to you all about how it all went, because it's important to understand all this stuff. It's important how the Jew operates, how the Jew, how they how they change the story, how they rewrite the story, how they get the evidence, and how they turn the evidence and wrap around and fuck around and lie, because that's all the fuck I see when I see that Donald Trump, when you see that fuckhead over there talking about blah, 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 It's not about the Jews anymore, it's about Americans. You Americans no longer are welcome. Not in South America, not in Asia, not in Africa, not in Africa, not in Europe. If it wasn't for this war, you guys are fucking losing the lead. You used to be seen as some kind of global police officer. Nobody can fucking stand your presence anymore. You told me in America, I'm not welcome there anymore. You told me in America, I am American disgrace. You told me in America, I should be ashamed of. I don't deserve to be an American citizen, and so on and so forth. Well, through the eyes of the world, based on what I see, nobody likes you wherever the fuck you go. You make your presence known through the military presence, with the rattling with the ships, with the boats, with the tanks and so on, with the weaponry. But nobody's missing you anymore. In fact, you talk about the money like, 600 billion this, why are you talking about that money so much? The only other person that I know of that's doing the same shit is this one here. Actually, that's a Putin. Putin had a habit to meet with his oligarchs, and stress himself, make himself important, present himself smart, in front of his oligarchs. We see him the way he meets with his oligarchs, and he's making a point. I don't know if I'm going to get the video like this right now, but he loves to make himself big. He is like the one, like, how much this, and how much that, how about this, and how about that. The shit that we watch with Donald Trump right there, that all too much reminds of meeting with the Putin and oligarchs and the Russian oligarchs. Isn't it? Isn't it about the same shit? Isn't it about the same copy? It's not. Doesn't it look about the same stuff? When Putin is meeting with his oligarchs, isn't it's not exactly so strict. Donald Trump is like very good, very
Vladimir
good.
Putin strode into town.
Почему раньше здесь не было людей, которые способны были принимать решения?
No? Isn't it what we have with Donald Trump? He's trying to make himself like in charge. He's like very
Unlike
good, you're very
Medvedev,
good,
Putin
very
confronted
good.
the factory owners.
Huh?
Считаю, что вы сделали заложника.
The same like Putin formed his Jew team. We see something similar happening in America. Don't we see about the same shit created over there on the other side of the ocean in the United States of America? Seems like we have a jury from both sides of it. It doesn't seem. It's what they try to convince us. It's like that they are like the main ones. It's like their world, like their politics. That this is what this is. They love to make themselves big, even if they are big like a shit, basically. And this doesn't affect Jewry anymore. This affects Americans overall. This isn't about what I was taught was the world. Americans are seen worldwide through the eyes I depicted right here. You're no longer seen as some kind of American. Oh, I'm American, this and that. Yeah, you're much more than American. Every fucking one of you is seen globally as a threat. You're seen as much more. And you wouldn't be, by the way, talking about that money, about all those investments and all this and that, if you wouldn't suffer a fuck up. You know what a fuck up is? That's a meltdown, economical fuck up. Economical meltdown. It appears to me that America is losing grounds because it's being replaced at large by China, India, and other countries America previously have invested and have built its military might based on those investments. Yet that military might, it appears to me, is just not sufficient to justify takeover of the world. It appears to be America, in other words, doesn't have what it takes to complete the job. So it's a lot of people without a job, a lot of insecurity, a lot of people jobless, and now you got to listen this shit here. Now you got to listen this shit here.
Through 28 in the U.S.
Tim Cook, you've done an incredible job with Apple, little company called Apple. How much money will you be investing?
$600 billion.
$600 billion. Huh? It's a lot of jobs.
We're very proud to do it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will invest a ton in the United States.
There's going to be a ton.
And we will do our best to make sure that we continue to lead here.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. Hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's going to be well worth it. And you have an unlimited market.
Unlimited.
How much is Google investing?
Unlimited.
We are well north of $100 billion. In the next 2 years, it's $250 billion
That's
in
great.
the US.
That's great. Great. We're proud of you. Very good. Thank you. A lot of jobs. What about Microsoft? That's a big number.
Each year we're close to, in the United States, around...
Yeah, just like I told you, that's going to be about like only 70 to 80 billion. That sounds like a shit when you compare somebody with 600 and 250 and I don't know what kind of a gazillion, billion. We're going to chuck of money, a ton of money, and it's going to be the money. And it's going to be the money, and it's going to be Bombila Jakila. It's going to be the promised land. It's going to be, right? That's the way it's going to be. And in between, it's also going to be like they did it with me, right? And before they did it with me, Jew already did throughout the Palestine. That's how they did with Palestinian people. You're not welcome here anymore. Get the fuck out. We don't want you here anymore. You know, that's the way it was in Palestine. Wasn't it like this through Palestine? Then I finally tested this shit on my own skin. Actually, this shit was quite present throughout my stay in the U.S., but in 2008 and 2009, I no longer even wanted to go back to the fucking Miami, which is, I understand, is a metropolitan, a center for the Jews in northern and southern and central America. That's why they like it so much. And that's when I got the taste of the Gaza on my own skin. So, there you have it. It's going to be plenty money, a big money, a big money, a big money, but I don't know if the market is so unlimited. I think it's very fucking limited. I think everything is extremely, extremely limited. I think that America bet everything on this man right here. This here.
Своих амбиций.
And I think that it doesn't pertain only to the Europe. I think it pertains to China and to the India. The world is going to have to find an alternative to this shit. If it's not going to find one, it's going to be in a lot of trouble. That being said, Americans are not even, I don't know. I gotta be careful about this stuff. I don't want to go too far with it. What I wanted to say to you, I want to end this video, is basically I give a special message to Donald Trump that advertised me this crap here. Even using Melania Trump.
75 to 80 billion dollars.
Good. Very good. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
How much money will Apple be investing in the United States? How much is Google investing? What about Microsoft? How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
How about you?
Oh gosh. I mean, I think it's probably going to be something
it's
like,
going to be, oh my God.
at
Oh
least
gosh, it's going to
$600
be.
billion
It's not God, now it's
28
gosh.
in the U.S.
Tim Cook, you've done an
Yeah,
incredible job
and it's
with
gonna
Apple,
be.
little company called Apple.
You know, money in my case is what I demonstrated you, and what I demonstrated you is ability to fuck your video library that you were creating, you know. You're going to need one because you're going to have to justify what you did with the Ukraine, for one thing. That's a money for me. For me, the money is to expose you, for the world to understand who you are and what color is your money, who you are, how you get past. And I think that video that Trump Kushner created right there for the world, I think it's excellent. I think it serves to better understanding of the people. My case itself, when they come in your house, not only your country, forget about in your house, and they have so many specific requirements, so many fucking demands, so many expectations of you, you should also understand what actually applies to you, what is in it there for you. I got the psychiatric certificate of the lunacy after 38 years of torture. I can be proud about that, through what was a lifelong, as they supported, forced unemployment against me, which started through a lot of torture when I was a baby, practically, molestation and so on. I think it's important to understand the color of the Jewish money. But in this case, because you really don't want no Jew here, they told me we're gonna put ourselves a David Star, and we're gonna come here, and we're gonna deliver in a luggage. We're gonna deliver the money. No. I don't want any Jews here. I don't want any of you here. I don't want to see you, in fact, in my lifetime anymore. I think you are as disgusting, and anything can be disgusting in this world. And I don't think I'm the only person That much for my fellow Americans that are so proud of their jewels they have in their kingdom of. We're gonna stop. I'm not gonna go further than that. This is not a problem between me and between your American Jews. No, sir. This is a problem between me and between the U.S. government. This is a problem between me and animals that allowed, or at least believed, that I'm going to see myself in a war with, basically I'm going to see my life through war with some kind of Jew. A Jew, just as I explained in this video, that you created these clowns out of your public funds money, and obviously with a good thought, with the good intentions to promote, right, for the equal justice sake, right, for the Holocaust sake, for the anti-Semitism sake, and so on, right? Wasn't it? I mean, this is not what you're doing. This you're always oriented toward equality, and you're always oriented toward the justice, and you're always oriented toward promoting minorities, right? It's a minority that you promote, right? Jews own American industry. Jews own every media house. And there's a lot of politically correct, or most are Jews that are politically correct, so-called journalists. But it's always about, there's never enough money. Fuck that. Let's make the story short. Yeah. But this is not the case between me and your American Jews that were sitting over there. I don't give a three fuck about Jew money. I don't want Jew money. I don't want money from the Jew. I don't want money from the parasites. This was just a house of somebody, as Benjamin Netanyahu stated, who doesn't like them. And I really never liked them throughout my life. I really never liked them throughout my life. They got a lot of favors, but I really never liked them. And it's going to stay that way. I don't want to be remembered by somebody who liked the Jews or something like that. Because the bottom line is, I don't like them. I never liked them. And I don't want the Jew money. The Jew money, for me, equal to extermination procedure. And I bet that if you had animals like this dealing with you your entire life, using you for the lowest of the low purpose in this world, you probably would not want to have their money, especially if this were how can I say, not really stateless people, because now they have State of the Israel, but we're still talking here about American Jews, about American Jewry, behind which U.S. government was trying to hide itself. Like, it's got to do with, as Donald Trump said, you're not going to like the Jew. If you're not going to like them, by the way, they don't owe you nothing, and this and so on and so forth. I know, sir, it doesn't work like this. This is the case of United States of America, the U.S. government, which implicated itself in. Not the case of the Jew. It was about American government hiding behind American international Jewry, standing one in defense, giving one a free hands to engage in genocide as please, do whatever they were pleased do as. And so it's got nothing to do really with American Jews or Israeli Jews or whatever Jews. This was not done on a voluntarily basis. I disliked the Jews, and when I have nothing to the Jews, it was all done based on pure violence. Through the violence, through the force, through the physical restraint, hijacking, all that stuff. That's all there was. There was no friend, anything like this, ally, or anything like this. This is how you enforce your shit. This is how the stuff went. And so, I just wanted to clarify that stuff. It's got nothing to do with American Jew. This has got to do with you. I saw Zuckerberg with a big face. Oh, is it going to be money for everybody and so on. It's got nothing to do with me. It's really got to do with U.S. government. And I'm afraid, I'm really, really afraid that it doesn't even have to do with the U.S. government. It's got to do with a total public mismanagement of the funds, a total financial fuck up, which some groups within the society are just using to buy the convenience from the rest of the population. I don't know, just trying to buy the likes, like you go and you know. So this is just, so far, this is nothing is being realistic about that. It's more a fantasy from Mark Zuckerberg. That's something, the gesture I was talking about, we yet have to see. But as I stated, this doesn't affect me in absolutely any way. I don't have nothing to do with the Jew. I don't want anything from the Jew. Jew is one filthy creature in my eyes, a parasite, literally. And this is coming from somebody whose parents and grandparents, both on both sides of the family, were heavily involved in World War II resistance against the Nazi Germany and fascist Italy. And I'm proud to be the one who delivered this truth to the world. It was time that I even regret visions like this, but, well, if somebody was to deliver the truth about what goes on around the world to understand better United States of America, then as well as mine be the person whose parents, grandparents were not in the lines of the Nazis or fascists or whatever you may want to say, right? And who had a personal experience with this world, this new brave world for which my parents, my grandparents put their lives online and fought and even lost, in some cases, their lives, right? Because this is what we were fighting for. That's what we fought. We fought to get exterminated like this by the Jews. At the end, this is what it comes to. Nothing between me and Jews, all between me and U.S. government. U.S. government. Nothing between me and Jews, all between me and U.S. government. That much also about the war between Russia and Ukraine. You should ask Vladimir Zelensky about details about his clan, that's how he met Vladimir Putin. It appears 14 years of age was already here inside of our house. And there is more to it, but I cannot say it. But when the war ends, I'm going to give you some mind-blowing information that's going to really sit you on your ass. And I think it's going to sit Zelensky on his ass too. I think it's going to sit a lot of them too, to remind them of the stuff like this that went on, to the stuff that we get to see, or what we get to witness, this kind of stuff. It's like some people seems like they have forgotten a little bit too fast about what actually went on and who they really are. You know, Zuckerberg was just total nobody who was just baby in the hands of literally of Bill Gates. Bill Gates was paying with this American Jewry children and was doing his best to involve as many as possible into this high-tech industry and create, you know that song, Only in America, that's what this shit is. That video is a shit. That video, that Trumpist video is a cheap shit video, garbage and trash. This man also have forgotten about who I am, what I have seen, who he was, how I have seen him at one point in time, who this guy really was and is. This guy totally lost it, man. He will get back to his real big him, Donald Trump. He will get it. He will get back to the humble beginnings.
Well, how much money will you be investing?
600 billion.
600 billion. Huh? It's a lot of jobs.
We're very proud to do it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will invest a ton in the United States.
Thank you
and
very, very,
we will
very
do our
much.
best to make sure that we continue to lead here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's going to be well worth it.
Yeah.
And you have an
And it's
unlimited
gonna be
market. How much is Google
unlimited,
investing?
yes, unlimited.
We are well north of $100 billion. In the next 2 years, it's $250 billion.
Look at Melania Trump.
That's great. Great. We're proud of you. Very good. Thank you. A lot of jobs. What about Microsoft? That's a big number.
Each year we're close to, in the United States,
Must be fucking
around
embarrassing
75,
to
80
be
billion
idiot
dollars.
like this.
Good. Very good. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
By the way, everybody knew about this stuff.
How much money will...
Everybody knew about this stuff. Chinese learned about this. Indians learned about this. We spoke about this stuff. They were laughing their ass when they everybody, Illuminatis from Asia, when they heard about this shit, that this is what Trump is going to depict himself. Everybody was cracking, so they were laughing themselves. They was sitting on an ass and cracking themselves, and they do when they see this video. It's a fucking poverty you advertise, Americans. You advertise fucking poverty. You know where you are, really, financially looking. You are not too far from Mexico, Brazil, India, and you yet have to prove yourself you're competitive to the China, which, by the way, with your artificial intelligence that China secured, is already leading you in certain fields. Technologically, production, manufacturing-wise, you are 100 years backwards. You yet have to catch the step with the China. Unlimited market, yes, unlimited market, but not for you. It was technologically advanced. Your country better, more than, but with your investment, with your technological breakthroughs that you have made in other parts of the world became significantly independent from your technologies, from your influence. Literally, you're going to need more than 600 billion, more than 250, and I don't know, $1 trillion to get your economy going. You're going to need a lot of fucking money to get, and you never will manage to get your homeless people, I was going to go say, back in the factories behind machines to get. It's going to be a lot of money already retraining people that you have neglected and so on, the stuff. The main thing is the world get to know who you are, what you are, and where humanity is heading with you. I personally believe that whatever country you go to with your money, people should be aware about your presence, who you really are, what you really are, so they have idea to so they know exactly what to deal with. The way things are going, the world is going to come to terms, literally ugly terms. Unwelcoming you in every fucking country around the world, with the exception to Israel, the way the things are going. The way things are going, the way you go with this hostility, the way you push your agenda, the way you're so ambitious to steal, to kill, lie, kill and steal. Americans, the way things are going, you're going to find yourself in a world where wherever you're going to travel, you're going to be in fucking restricted neighborhoods where they will be watching your every fucking movement, the way things are going. You yourself are not welcome in this world anymore, wherever the hell you go. You yourself present a danger, a threat. You yourself created a standard for unwelcome, for rejection. To be seen just as those whom you promote, those that I mentioned in the video. I don't want to get into. You yourself started to be seen as one of them. Actually, as them. They define you in today's world, the way things are heading. I am absolutely not envious of you. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see these fuckers ever in my lifetime, motherfuckers. Not that somebody would go and talk to me about Jewish money, how it will be, and we with you and so on, and this and that. So many lies that you could go and fucking spit your kidneys out, fucking murderous animals. But the best about this case is that with so much money, with so powerful a wealth as you are and all this, you still had to come to this house, to this poverty, to get some more. And that's why this case is so, that's a money. You see, that's a money. That's what's significant. For the world to acknowledge the existence of this case, the world to acknowledge what I stated in this video. You may want to do me a favor. You want to ask your Zelensky, Vladimir, Jew, Zelensky. You want to do me a favor, you ask Jew, Zelensky, Jew, Benjamin Netanyahu, Jew, Donald Trump, Kushners, all these Jews, all these parasites that were gathering inside of this home. Remember when I told you about Ukrainian government, which consisted of 20 Jews and 2 Ukrainian Christians, obviously, or atheists or wherever the fuck they were? You want to tell me, you fucking Jew, you want to fucking explain to me, you fucking parasites, is, since I was the one who fuck Ukraine. You said, you threatened, we're gonna go, we're gonna fuck Ukraine, we're gonna go to the Russian side. You flocked on the Russian side, and Vladimir Putin thanked me in 1992. You want to parasites, you fucking motherfuckers, explain the world. How did I fuck Ukraine? Yeah, because this is about who started the war in Ukraine. You fucking murderous Jewish swines. You see? Next to the stuff that I stated, the Germans have seen it, the British have seen it, Americans have seen it. You flocked on the Russian side. You said, fuck Ukraine, to fuck Ukraine. Because of me. You're going to explain who started the war in Ukraine. You understand the fucking logic behind this video now, you fucking Jewish swines. You claim I was the one who was guilty for it. Well, you need to explain who started the war on Ukraine. You need to explain who started the war in Europe. See? That's the point of this video. It's whatever the fuck you threaten with, you make yourself clear to everybody that you contemplate on massacre of Ukraine again. And Ukraine has such a sad story when it comes to Jews. The Ukrainian story started with Ukrainian slavery, with Jews selling Ukrainians as slaves back in time when it all started.
Apple be investing in the United States? How much is Google investing? How much money will Apple be investing in the United States? How much is Google investing? What about Microsoft? How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh, gosh. I think it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion through 28 in the U.S.
Tim Cook, you've done an incredible job with Apple, little company called Apple. How much money will you be in?
In 1991 and 1982, actually 1992, he was 8 years old. I'm talking about Zuckerberg. He barely stopped sucking tits from his mama. And these are the people that were gonna decide about me.
$600 billion.
$600 billion. Huh? It's a lot of jobs.
We're very proud to do it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will invest a ton in the United States, and we will do our best to make sure that
There will be a ton.
leader.
That's right. Thank you. Hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's going to be well worth it. And you have an unlimited market. How much is Google investing?
We are well north of.
And we will do our best to make sure that we continue to lead here.
That's right. Thank you. Hundreds of billions of
Jesus
dollars, and it's
Christ,
going to be well worth it. And you have an unlimited market. How much is Google investing?
We are well north of $100 billion. In the next 2 years, it's $250 billion in the US.
That's great. Great. We're proud of you. Very good. Thank you. A lot of jobs. What about Microsoft? That's a big number.
Each year we are close to, in the United States, around $75 to $80 billion.
Тысячи людей.
Thank you very much.
Это абсолютно недопустимо. Если, собственно,